Russian oligarchs, like other ultra-wealthy individuals, seek to diversify their investments across various asset classes to protect and grow their wealth. Their portfolios are often influenced by geopolitical factors, regulatory concerns, and the desire for both high returns and wealth preservation. Here's a breakdown of where Russian oligarchs typically invest their money. Real estate investments. First up, let's talk about the trophy properties. Russian oligarchs are known for snapping up stunning homes in some of the world's most exclusive neighborhoods. Think multi-million-dollar mansions in London's Kensington and Chelsea, New York's Billionaires Row, or mega estates in the south of France. These aren't just homes, they're status symbols. Owning a mansion in these areas shows the world, "I've made it." And for oligarchs, that's as important as the investment itself. But it's not all about personal luxury. Russian oligarchs also invest heavily in commercial real estate, like office buildings, shopping malls, and hotels. These properties generate steady cash flow and often grow in value over time. It's a win-win. Not only do these investments diversify their portfolios, but they also offer financial stability, even during market downturns. Of course, what's a billionaire lifestyle without a few vacation homes? Russian oligarchs love to own properties in stunning locations, like the French Riviera, Courchevel in the Alps, or Mediterranean islands. These homes aren't just for relaxation. They're investments that often appreciate in value and can be rented out to other high-net-worth individuals. Now let's talk about Londongrad. London has been a favorite for Russian oligarchs for decades, earning this nickname because of the sheer number of Russian-owned properties. From luxury apartments in Mayfair to townhouses in Belgravia, the city offers a mix of prestige, stability, and access to global markets. But it's not just about the beauty of London. These properties are seen as safe havens for wealth, especially with the political and economic instability back home. Here's the smart part. For many oligarchs, real estate isn't just about making money. It's about protecting it. Owning property, especially overseas, helps them safeguard their wealth from political risks and potential sanctions. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Many oligarchs don't buy these properties in their own names. Instead, they use shell companies or trusts to make purchases. This keeps their ownership discreet and offers an extra layer of protection from legal or political scrutiny. In recent years, sanctions and increased scrutiny have made it harder for oligarchs to invest in Western markets. But they're adapting, turning to other destinations like Dubai, Turkey, and parts of Asia to grow their real estate portfolios. So, whether it's jaw-dropping mansions, lucrative commercial properties, or vacation retreats, Russian oligarchs know how to use real estate to grow their wealth, shield their assets, and live in style. Talk about working smarter, not harder. What do you think of their real estate strategies? If you had billions to invest, would you buy a mega mansion in London or a villa in the south of France? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your dream investment. Energy and natural resources. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest cash cows for Russian oligarchs: energy and natural resources. This is where many of them made their fortunes, and where they still invest heavily to grow their wealth. From oil and gas to precious metals, these industries are not just about profits. They're about power, influence, and long-term stability. Let's dive in. Let's start with oil and gas, the crown jewel of Russian wealth. During the 1990s, when Russia was privatizing its state assets, a handful of savvy, or lucky, individuals acquired stakes in massive oil and gas companies like Gazprom, Rosneft, and Lukoil. These companies are global giants and bring in billions of dollars every year. And it doesn't stop there. Oligarchs often use their wealth to acquire more drilling rights, refineries, and even stakes in foreign energy companies to expand their influence. The global demand for energy makes this a steady and reliable cash flow for them. Next up, mining. Russia is one of the world's largest producers of precious metals like gold, platinum, and palladium. For example, Oligarchs with stakes in companies like Norilsk Nickel or Polyus Gold are literally sitting on mountains of wealth. Quite literally. These metals are used in everything from luxury jewelry to high-tech gadgets, making them incredibly valuable. And for the oligarchs, investing in mining is like printing money that glitters. Here's where things get really interesting. Natural gas. Russia is one of the world's largest suppliers of natural gas, and oligarchs who control stakes in companies like Gazprom are not just wealthy, they're powerful. Natural gas is a huge bargaining chip in international politics. For example, Europe relies heavily on Russian natural gas for heating and energy. This gives oligarchs and their companies incredible leverage, both financially and politically. And let's not forget coal. While it might not be as glamorous as gold or as influential as gas, it's still a massive part of the oligarchs' portfolios. Coal is a major export for Russia and a key energy source for many countries. Now you might be thinking, what about renewables? Well, even the oligarchs are starting to dip their toes into green energy. While traditional oil and gas are still their bread and butter, some are investing in wind farms, solar projects, and even hydrogen energy to stay ahead of global trends. It's not just about being eco-friendly, it's about diversifying their portfolios and preparing for a future where fossil fuels might not dominate the market. Here's the kicker. Energy and natural resources aren't just about making money. They're about influence. By owning significant stakes in these industries, oligarchs have a seat at the table in global markets. They can negotiate deals, influence policies, and even shape the geopolitical landscape. For example, controlling gas pipelines to Europe or gold exports to Asia gives them leverage that goes way beyond their bank accounts. Of course, with sanctions and political tensions, investing in energy and natural resources has become trickier for Russian oligarchs. But instead of backing down, many are pivoting to new markets like China, India, and the Middle East. They're also looking at offshore accounts, joint ventures, and even digital assets to protect their energy wealth. It's all about staying ahead of the curve. So, whether it's drilling for oil, mining for gold, or investing in the future of energy, Russian oligarchs know how to turn natural resources into serious cash. And let's be honest, they're not just investing in energy, they're investing in power, both financial and geopolitical. What do you think about their energy strategies? If you had billions to invest, would you go all in on oil, gold, or renewables? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Offshore accounts and investment vehicles. An offshore account is simply a bank account in another country. So why do the rich, especially oligarchs, love them? 3 words: privacy, protection, and perks. Offshore accounts help oligarchs keep their money safe from political instability, sanctions, and other risks back home. Plus, many of these countries have super low taxes, or none at all, which makes them perfect for stashing wealth. Now let's take a little trip around the world. Some of the hottest spots for offshore accounts are Switzerland, the British Virgin Islands, Cyprus, and the Cayman Islands. Why? Because these places specialize in discretion. They won't go blabbing about who owns what. For example, Switzerland has legendary banking privacy laws, and Cyprus? It's a favorite for Russian oligarchs because of its close ties to Russia and its investor-friendly tax laws. Now let's talk about investment vehicles. And no, I don't mean sports cars. An investment vehicle is just a way to hold and grow money like trusts, shell companies, or hedge funds. Here's the trick. Oligarchs use offshore trusts and companies to move money around legally and quietly. For example, instead of buying a mansion in their own name, they set up a company in the Cayman Islands to hold the property. This keeps their name off the public records and can help them avoid taxes too. Here's where things get serious. Sanctions. Many oligarchs face financial restrictions from governments around the world. By using offshore accounts and investment vehicles, they can shield their money from being frozen or seized. And it's not just about sanctions. This strategy also protects them from political risks back home. Think about it. If things go south, They've got their wealth tucked away safely overseas. One of the most common tools in their arsenal is the shell company. This is a company that exists on paper but doesn't actually do much. Its main job? To hold assets. Let's say an oligarch wants to buy a super yacht. Instead of buying it themselves, they set up a company in, say, the British Virgin Islands, and that company buys the yacht. The result? It's harder to trace, and it might even come with tax benefits. Offshore isn't just about hiding money, it's about growing it. Oligarchs use these accounts to invest in global markets, hedge funds, private equity, and even cryptocurrencies. The idea is to keep their money in places with low taxes and high returns. For example, they might park millions in an offshore hedge fund that invests in tech startups or international real estate. While their money grows, they enjoy some serious tax savings. Of course, offshore accounts and shell companies have been controversial. They're often seen as tools for tax evasion or corruption. But it's important to note that many of these strategies are perfectly legal, if used correctly. That said, governments are cracking down. With stricter regulations and increased transparency, it's getting harder to hide money offshore. But don't underestimate the creativity of the ultra-wealthy. They're always finding new ways to adapt. So there you have it. Offshore accounts and investment vehicles are some of the most powerful tools Russian oligarchs, and the wealthy in general, use to protect and grow their wealth. It's all about privacy, protection, and finding opportunities in a global market. What do you think? Are offshore accounts a smart strategy, or do you think they're too controversial? If you had the chance to use them, would you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. Sports clubs. All right, let's talk about one of the flashiest and surprisingly strategic ways Russian oligarchs invest their wealth. Sports clubs. From owning legendary football teams to investing in global sports leagues. These billionaires aren't just fans. They're turning their passion for sports into a powerhouse investment. Let's dive into why they do it and how it benefits them. Let's be real. Owning a sports team isn't just about the money. It's a massive status symbol. It's like saying, "Hey world, I'm not just rich, I'm influential." And what better way to gain influence than owning a beloved team that millions of fans are crazy about? Take Roman Abramovich, for example. His ownership of Chelsea FC wasn't just about football. It turned him into a global name and gave him access to powerful networks in business, politics, and entertainment. Now let's talk numbers. Sports clubs might seem like a fun toy for billionaires, but they're also big business. Teams generate revenue from ticket sales, merchandise, sponsorships, and TV rights, and these numbers are growing every year. For instance, when Abramovich bought Chelsea in 2003, the club was worth around $190 million. Fast forward to 2022, and it sold for over $5 billion. Talk about a winning investment. Owning a sports club isn't just about money or fandom, it's also about building connections. Think about it. When you own a team, you're rubbing shoulders with CEOs of global brands, world leaders, and A-list celebrities. It's a golden ticket to a global network of movers and shakers, and for oligarchs, these connections can lead to business deals, influence, and even soft power in international politics. Speaking of influence, owning a sports club is a masterclass in soft power. Sports bring people together, transcend politics, and generate goodwill. By owning a team, oligarchs can shape their public image and even gain leverage in political or business negotiations. It's no coincidence that many oligarchs use their teams to fund youth programs, support charities, or promote their countries on the global stage. It's PR gold. Now let's get practical. For oligarchs, investing in sports clubs is also about diversification. It's a way to put their money into a high-profile, tangible asset that appreciates over time, just like real estate or fine art. Plus, sports clubs often have loyal fan bases and steady income streams, which makes them relatively stable investments, even during economic downturns. And let's not forget the fun factor. For these billionaires, owning a sports club is the ultimate VIP experience. They get to sit in the best seats, celebrate wins on the pitch, and hang out with their favorite athletes. It's like being part of an exclusive club where you call the shots and get front-row access to all the action. Of course, owning a sports club isn't always smooth sailing. There's pressure to deliver results, keep fans happy, and navigate controversies. Plus, with increasing scrutiny on where billionaires get their money, some oligarchs have faced challenges, like sanctions or forced sales. But for those who can handle the heat, the rewards far outweigh the risks. So, whether it's about making money, building influence, or just having a blast, Russian oligarchs see sports clubs as more than just a hobby. They're power plays, both on and off the field. What do you think? If you had billions to invest, would you buy a sports team? And if so, which one? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your dream team. All right, let's wrap it up. Today, we've taken a deep dive into how Russian oligarchs manage their wealth, from luxurious real estate and energy empires to offshore accounts, sports clubs, and dynastic wealth planning. It's clear that these billionaires don't just stumble into riches. They play the game strategically, using every tool at their disposal to grow, protect, and showcase their wealth. But here's the thing. It's not just about the money. For many of these oligarchs, their investments are about influence, power, and securing a legacy that lasts for generations. Whether it's owning a football club to boost their global profile or investing in energy to control critical resources, everything they do is part of a bigger plan. Now, I want to hear from you. If you had billions to invest, what would you do? Would you build a real estate empire, buy a sports team, or maybe explore renewable energy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to see your billionaire strategies. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more insights into the fascinating world of wealth and power, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got plenty more deep dives into how the ultra-wealthy think and invest. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep dreaming big and building the life you want, just maybe with a little less drama than the oligarchs.